Today in this video we'll be deriving the quadratic formula as well as introduce the Vieta's formulas. So let's get right into it. So most of you should be familiar with the quadratic equation, which is ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. And now here we're just trying to solve for the x, we're trying for x variable. So first step could be to subtract c on both sides, and then we'll end up with an equation that looks like this. X squared plus bx is equal to negative c, since the 0 has no value, so it will just be negative c. Then we can divide both sides by a, so then our a value will just be 1. So then you end up with squared plus b over a x is equal to negative c over a. Now here we can complete the square, and so completing the square would just be having the another term like this, and essentially our b value here is b over a. So when we plug it in, you should get b squared over 4a squared, since 2a times 2a is 4a squared. So I'll just keep it. Yeah. So we're gonna add that on both sides. X squared plus b over ax plus b squared over 4a squared 2a all equals negative c over a plus 4. Okay. So now, let me see. Yeah. Our next part is to complete the square for the left hand side. You'll get 2a x plus b over 2a squared is equal to, same thing on the right hand side, negative c over a plus b squared 4a squared. Now so we're actually gonna get a common denominator for the right hand side, and if we're gonna do that, we're gonna make this part also 4a squared. So we have to multiply by 4a. 4a c all over 4a squared. Since these two will cancel, will be negative c, then we're just gonna add that to here, b squared, and you can see that brings us here. Okay, so now we know that x plus b over 2a squared this. So we can take the square root of both sides. But remember, we have to be careful, since we also can account for the negative, since negatives cancel out when squared. So to the positive and negative root of it. So x plus b over 2a all equals plus or minus a square root of all of that. So square root of all of that, the square root of this, I'll do it in a different color, 4a squared, square root of 4a squared just be 2a. So we're going to write this b squared in a different way, which is essentially the same thing. And then we're dividing by 2a. So 2a. Now our final step is solving for x. So x is equal to, so we're going to be subtracting over 2a plus or minus square root of b squared 4ac c all over 2a. Now we can add these terms since they have the same denominator, and that leaves us with the famous quadratic formula: negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So that's how you derive the quadratic formula, which is that. And now, let's talk about Vieta's formulas. Okay, let's just go here. So when we're talking about Vieta's formulas, we have the same. We're talking still about quadratics. Bx plus c. So yeah, the roots of the equation, which I'm pretty sure you should know, are the roots x values when y is equal to 0. And we can do that using the quadratic formula, or if it's factor, or you can factor it if possible. But if not, you have to use the quadratic formula. So the Vieta's formula, there's two. There's two main ones you should know. Vieta's formula, it's named after a mathematician who had this idea and proved it. So Vieta's formula, that just says the sum of the roots. I'll write in text. Sum of the roots. And here we'll do product of the roots. Yeah, so the sum of the roots is negative b all over a in this form. This form, like the basic form. And we're saying here that a is not equal to 0, because then that would just make it linear if a was 0. So, and then this product is just c over a. Okay, so let's prove this. So in this, we know our two roots are, these are the two roots. They are negative b plus square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. And then our other root is negative b minus, since there's a plus and minus, b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Now, sum of the roots, so we're just basically going to add these together. Okay, let's add them. So when we're adding this term here will cancel out with here since this is the positive and there's a minus for that. So those will cancel. So when you add them, and they have the same denominator, so you can just add them. Negative b minus b is negative 2b, and the denominator is 2a, and then you can cancel out the 2 since they can cancel. So you're left with negative b over a, and that is the proof. Now for the product of the roots, we can just prove this by multiplying. Sorry about that. We can prove this by multiplying. So when we multiply these together, I'll just use the multiplier. It's just gonna be, you're just gonna end up with that because that's the product of the roots. So negative b plus the square root of b squared minus 4ac multiplied by this, which is negative b minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac, and we can square these two, and you get 4 squared. Okay, so this essentially can be difference of squares, where I'll show you. Difference of squares, when you have this can be factored as a plus b times a minus b, for those who don't know how to do that. So our a value is negative b, just the first value, and then it's just b squared minus 4ac for b value. So we'll multiply these out, a, b, a minus b, adding b, so a squared, negative b times negative b, minus b squared, b times b, just remove that this whole square root sign, since both of them are in the square roots. So we'll subtract b squared minus 4ac, now all over. Shouldn't forget about the all over part since it's pretty important. Wait, I messed up. So we're subtracting b squared. B squared is this. So if you just forgot to put that in parentheses, then you get a plus. So when we do this, you'll get b squared minus b squared plus 4ac. Then I'll just write 4a squared as 4aa. And you'll see why in a minute, or you can already see why. But this cancel gets 0, and 4ac you can cancel a's out, and you can cancel the 4 and 4. And you're just left with c over a, which is the product of the roots. So that's how you derive the Vieta's formulas. Okay, so let's try a quick problem. 5x squared minus 3x plus 2. Okay, what is the product of the roots and what is the sum? So we can, product is c over a, sum is negative b over a. zoom in. Okay, so this is our A value and B value right here, and C. Product is C over A, which is 2 over 5. Okay, so product 2 over 5, and sum is negative B over A. B is negative 3, so negative B would be 3 since the negatives cancel out. A is 5, so sum is 3/5 of the roots. And yeah, so we'll quickly recap on this video. So first we know the quadratic equation, and then we solved for x, so which led us to the famous quadratic formula. And then here we talked about the Vieta's formula, which is the sum and product of the roots, and we also proved why it works. We did a example question. And in competition math, there's a lot of cases where Vieta's formula will come up unexpectedly, and you should know how to see where it can be used, how the product can be found. Since it will take a shorter time and it can be faster and lead to what you're looking for to solve that particular question. Okay, so that's it for this video, and I hope you enjoyed. Thank you for watching.